So Pavol, I've got more in-depth webinars that I'm going to be able to go into here, Pavol, in this case. He says, why do you need so much intrinsic value in the put for the married put position rather than buying a cheaper one strike in the money to keep the break-even lower? Okay. Now, Pavol, keep in mind, when I open a married put position, again, I'm going far out in time. Yes, I know that increases the break-even, but I don't plan to stay in this position all the way to expiration. Okay, this is 224 days out. Here's a good January one on Marriott. And so I'm buying 166, the stock, 166.66, and I could buy the 2023 January 180 put for $29.70. $12 of that, $14, excuse me, is intrinsic value. The true risk is only $17. I'm sorry, the midpoint's 30.23. My apologies, Pavol. So again, 30.23, $13.40 of that is intrinsic. The remaining $17.40 is the time value. Why am I paying into so much intrinsic value? To get the risk that you want. This follows the three core principles of the married put position. Oh, sorry, I went to the wrong link. I want to take advantage of the at-the-money bell curve, proper position sizing, and of course, the controlled risk to single digits. Stocks at 166. The 165, which is closest to at the money, has what? Has the highest time value of any option. So the risk is double digits. It's 12.7%, 12.8%. One strike in the money, $24. You're paying more into extrinsic value because you're buying right here at the top of the at the money bell curve. Going deeper in the money, I'm paying more intrinsic, which I'm guaranteed to get back if the stock doesn't move. And I'm buying this at 30.23, excuse me. 13.34 is intrinsic value. So the remaining 17.41 is the risk. That's only 8.8%. Going for the cheaper monetary cost is increasing the time value with less intrinsic. You have a higher risk, which is where we don't want to be. We want to be in the single digit risk field. That's what we want. And to do that, you're typically going 2 to 3 strikes in the money. And this is farther out in time, but let's go closer in with Marriott positions, Pavol. Let's go to June or July. Yeah, good, July. Good 180 days out in time, 6 months out in time. Now the 170 here, of course, is priced at $18. Again, $3.34 is intrinsic. 18 is time value. I'm sorry, 15 is the extrinsic value, which puts me at 8.2. At 180, I'm paying more up front, $24.30, but only 11 of that is the time value. Only 6.1%. It's a better controlled risk, even though I'm paying more. But again, that break even is the break even, that higher price I paid to put me up to 190.96, that's only at expiration. Break even here is at about at 161. Let's see here. I'm sorry, at the halfway point of April 13th. In that case, it's much lower. I'm sorry, it's about 170. And if the stock moves up to 170, just 3 or 4 points, well before that, of course, 118, 119, 10 days, 18 days away, this is going to be at a profit. That break even is only relevant if I hold the position all the way to July expiration. Make no adjustments, Pavol. Do no income methods, accept no dividends if Marriott pays a dividend. That's the only time that comes into play. Do I have a higher cost? Yes. Is that closer to at the money where a higher risk position, one strike in, is that also going to see a profit if the stock goes up to 170? I believe I select on January 18th. Of course it is. Is it going to be a higher profit? Of course it is. 130 versus 99. Okay? But what if I'm wrong and the stock falls? I'm risking more here on this position than here because the time value is higher at these levels, even though it's cheaper. That's all risk. Why don't I buy the out of the money that's cheaper and only $9? Because the insurance doesn't kick into 150. This is all time value. So the stock has to fall 16 points to 150, and I'm putting up 955. So I'm at the 15% risk range in the worst case scenario. That's why we apply the 3 core principles that we talk about with radioactive trading to get those risks that we want. In this case, in July, yeah, the 170, I agree, is an okay risk. I'd probably go with the 175 at 7.2% risk, me personally. It's good range in the money, 5%. Not too bad, 9 points in. I have a risk of 1350 or 7.2%. That's pretty good. But, forcing an ideal size trade, in this case in July, all 3 are a good ideal size trade. In January, they weren't. They were approaching double digits because of, number 2, the at-the-money bell curve. I want to be buying here or here when the time value is cheapest, but I don't want to buy out of the money puts where the time value is cheapest, because that doubles the risk that I'm willing to take. I'm up to 15, 16, 17%. No, I want 7, 6, 5.5, 7.5%. I want that window. And I achieve that here with the in the money. The intrinsic value, although it's a higher price, combined with the time value, which is lower from the at-the-money bell curve, that's the structure I want. I'm guaranteed to get that intrinsic back. Buying right at the money, or just one strike in, has the highest time value at any time. The at-the-money option will always have the highest time value at any expiration you're looking at for any stock. We want to be on the right side of the at-the-money bell curve when we're buying, and when we're selling, we want to be in that range to maximize the time value and the shorter-term decay in our favor. Those are the 3 core principles. Well, of course, the other one is the decay line. Why am I buying 6 to 7 months out? We looked at that a little bit earlier. I don't want to buy just a 1-month out put, because if I have to keep buying it every 30 days, I'm going to increase my annualized return. I'm buying out here 150, 160, 170, so I see the shorter time decay against me first, while I'm trying to do income methods in the shorter term to pay more than the time decay I'm seeing on the long. But once again, I get into that 60 to 30 day range where the time value really fails off. This was a comment that was mentioned earlier. Yeah, I don't hold the put all the way to expiration in that other discussion we were having. That's why in the blueprint, there's a full discussion on there's a full chapter, I should say, on exiting the RPM. And in the exiting the RPM chapter, it talks about we usually want to close the position where within 60 to 45 days to expiration, because I don't want to lose that last remaining time value. If I want to stay in the position, I'm looking to sell to close that put that's within 60 to 45 days to expiration, and I'm going to roll it out to another 150 days out, 160 days out, in that case, Pavol. That's why that's important there with the structure. Why am I going 1 to 2 strikes in the money? Why are we going 6 months out in time? It's because it gives us the best structure that we want for the single digits in that case. I don't want to buy the at the money and overpay into the time value. I'm paying a higher price, which includes intrinsic and lower time value on the right side of the ATM bell curve. And that's how we do that with the married put. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we are at 5:51 p.m. Eastern Time. I don't see any other questions that have come in. But last but not least, of course, I do want to remind everyone that today's discussion are my thoughts on your questions designed for educational purposes, increasing investing performance and options knowledge. Any stocks or options discussed today should not be taken as direct recommendations or trading suggestions. Bullish or bearish on Apple, bullish or bearish on Devon, the long call or long put on NEGG, those are not trading recommendations. They're examples used. Options involve risk, as we've seen, and may not be suitable for all investors. What did we see in the tools today? Hey, we saw a great way to create a search by a basket of stocks. We showed different ways to use the search by symbol tool. We looked at the portfolio tool for rolling the Devon position. We looked at the profit and loss chart to help with Lisa's roll. She's going to send me her example to see with a clarification on her question there. We also saw the long option finder and the importance of evaluating the volatility. Well, if these are tools that you'd like in your personal toolbox for options, you can take a 14-day free trial at any time. Just go to poweropt.com, put in your name and email address, no credit card required. You'll have full use of the tools for 14 days to create searches. Look at some of those signature tools, such as the long option finder or the spread chain. You'll have a limited evaluation of backtest, but most importantly, you have the power of those portfolios to enter your positions, start tracking them, and evaluate rollout opportunities with the position analysis view that we saw there as well. After that, subscription started only $45 per month for the end of day data. The delayed service, 15 to 20 minute delayed data, is only $65 per month. And then, of course, we do offer the historical service and the real-time service as well. The historical service includes everything that's in 20-minute delayed, but with full access to the 7 or so years of backtesting data in the different strategies and the historical search by symbol tools as well. The free education, you can find us on YouTube, and you can do that search that you saw. Also, a lot of videos right there on Power Options. If you go to poweropt.com and you click on free webinars, you can scroll through the options strategies presentations, the options concepts, requested topics, and more. And yes, now that end of the year promotion for the Blueprint is winding down, which I should mention as well, a special offer for the Blueprint. Remember, it ends at midnight tonight, the 8 special bonuses with the full discussion on doing the married put structure, what we just talked about a little bit with Pavol, the proper way to set it up, and then the correct way to use the 12 different income methods to lower that initial at risk, potentially bulletproof the trade, and still leave your upside open. We're offering those 8 special bonuses if you pick up the Blueprint by midnight tonight. So I do wanted to make sure, of course, that you're aware that that is still there. But of course, if you think of other questions at any time, send us an email, support@poweropt.com, support@radioactivetrading.com. You can also call us during market hours at 302-992-7971. And of course, trial members to Power Options and subscribers can schedule a free coaching session at any time. There's no limit to how many coaching sessions you have. It's not just one and done. You can have multiple sessions during your trial, or as many of you know, multiple sessions as a Power Options subscriber as well. Whew. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up for our first open forum Q&A session for 2022. I want to thank you all for joining me today. I want to thank you all for your questions. Ladies and gentlemen, have a fantastic evening. Have a great weekend. Stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll get these recordings posted up to you soon and let you know when they're available. Take care, everyone. Good night and happy trading.